Okay, good stuff. We are live again. Goodness me, it's becoming a bit of a habit this week, which is awesome. It's given me a bit of routine, which is always nice. Welcome back, guys. It is Wednesday, so we are halfway through the week, and we are on our third talk of this postnatal recovery series. So thanks so much for all your feedback and comments from the couple of videos that I've done so far. I'm really glad that you guys are finding this useful. So I'm just going to give a minute for a couple of people to hop on. I can see there's some people watching already. Hello. How are you getting on? It's a bit of a dreary morning out there this morning. A bit grey and a bit miserable, which is not what we want for July. What did you have for breakfast? Let me know. This talk is all about nutrition, so it seems like a good way of starting. Have you had breakfast? Have you even had breakfast? I cannot survive without breakfast. Breakfast used to be one of those ones that I could skip through and glide through without. Now it is absolutely the thing that sets me up for the day. So we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the things that you can do in terms of your nutrition to aid your recovery and to aid your healing process. Because of course it's going to play a part. Now listen, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not giving you individual tailored advice here. It's more like some general good habits and common sense and good nutritional tips that will make a difference, okay? And once you start combining all these things together, so combining your breathing, combining your recovery exercises, combining your nutrition, combining some of the other things that we're going to go on and talk about, like checking, we did yesterday, pelvic floor and diastasis, C-section scar healing, they all come together, okay, as a part of a holistic package to help get you through the postnatal period, because it does take a toll. So, a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today. Some of them will apply to you, some of them might not necessarily apply to you, but I just really want you to start to get your mindset into thinking, is what I'm putting into my body helping me? Is it healing me? Is it providing me with great nutrition? Is it providing my baby with great nutrition if you're breastfeeding? So just some things that you really need to just start thinking about. The biggest thing I wanted to say, and I think I've said this throughout all my videos, okay, because it's so true. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, ladies. Now is not the time to go on any kind of diet, restriction, regime, especially at the moment as we're starting to ease out of lockdown a little bit. You're going to see a lot of stuff like post-lockdown diets and all this kind of crazy stuff. Block that out. Don't let it come onto your radar. This is not something you should be worried about. It is absolutely not the time to be dieting. Yes, your body will have changed, okay? It's supposed to have changed. That's what this whole process has been about. Yes, you may have some goals longer term that include whatever it might be. It might include fat loss. Now is not the time to go on a diet. I really want to get that through. And the reason that I want to get that through is because now is the time to be kind to yourselves. Be kind to yourselves and be respectful of what your body has done. And if anything, the opposite is true. Now is the time to be feeding your body, flourishing it with all kinds of the good stuff. Okay, yes, you can cut out the rubbish to a certain extent. But you know what? If you need a Mars bar, you need a Mars bar, okay? It's as long as that Mars bar doesn't become the bulk of your diet. So, a couple of things to kick off and talk about. Number one is it's really important at this time, especially in the early days after you've had your baby, that you are giving your body the kind of nutrients that are going to help it to heal. Because essentially you've been through a trauma. There may even be an injury there, say if you've had a C-section or if you've had an episiotomy, there will be a physical trauma there. So the food that you eat will absolutely help your body to heal. So you want to think about including collagen-rich foods, because collagen is going to help build up the tissue. So collagen-rich foods, you want to think about kind of anti-inflammatory foods. So you know, this is your leafy greens and your berries, all the good stuff. That really colourful plate is what you want to be going for. Now I'm also aware that you want to make it easy, okay? often you need something that you can eat and grab with a single hand, because you're carrying your little one or you're feeding your little one constantly, and it's all about that kind of reach and grab type items, especially if you're up in the night, and I'm sure you're up multiple times in the night. It's really difficult not to get on that sugar bandwagon, okay, because you feel like you need that instant hit, because you've got to wake up and you've got to be awake enough to deal with baby and feed or change nappy or whatever it is, but then also you want to get back to sleep. The sugar bandwagon is a really difficult one once you've got into it to step back from, but just think about, is it actually making you feel better, or do you feel like you're getting these really highs and then real dips of energy? The same, you're going to hate me for saying this, the same for caffeine, okay? I know so many people feel like they need that coffee to kickstart their mornings, okay, especially if you've been up since the ridiculous unmentionable hours. Is the same thing. It increases that cortisol, which sends your blood sugar on all kinds of crazy spike, and long term is not going to be doing your healing and your recovery any good. Now, I'm not saying don't drink coffee at all, but maybe just see if you can think about limiting your intake a little bit, and just seeing how that does help your energy levels. I know it sounds a little bit perverse if you're a bit of a caffeine addict. It's easy for me to say I don't drink caffeine at all. It doesn't agree with me. After being pregnant with my second, my youngest boy, I just couldn't go back to caffeine. It made me feel awful. It gives me a headache, it gives me the shakes. That's often the symptom that people who are withdrawing from caffeine will get. So initially, if you go in your day without caffeine, you may feel a little bit rough, but a couple of days down the line, hopefully you'll feel much better. I start the day always with a cup of boiling water and a slice of lemon. It sounds very like, oh, well, good for you, Fee, aren't you amazing? No, it's amazing. I love it. It sets the alkaline for the body. It's really refreshing, and I can't imagine doing it anything else. Ultimately, with any of these things, it's a habit. It's about getting into a good habit. So do the steps that feel achievable for you, okay? I'm not saying don't have a coffee at all, but if you feel like you've got a bit of an over-reliance on caffeine, it will be affecting your stress levels and your healing levels, okay? So there's one thing to consider. So boosting your collagen rich foods, ditching as much as is possible the sugar wave, okay, and trying to think about, well, is there other little grab and go items? Because I know a biscuit is the easy thing, right? But could it be a handful of nuts or a handful of dried fruit? What could it be that makes it easy and accessible? And what do you just not have to think about? That's another thing, is that, you know, our brains are so overwhelmed as a new mum with so much information. We're not putting ourselves anywhere near the top of the list. We're right down at the bottom, okay? So I want you to just start thinking about, well, what can I do to bump myself up that list a little bit, and what foods can I start incorporating into my diet as a sense of adding stuff in rather than taking stuff out necessarily, to make me feel better. We all know that when we eat well, we feel good. It's natural, okay? And when stuff is handed to us on a plate, it's much easier to do it that way, okay? I actually get Mindful Chef, which is a recipe box, a couple of times a week for myself and my husband, and the reason I love it so much is, number one, the food is amazing, it's delicious and it's healthy, but I don't have to think, okay? I don't have to plan, I don't have to shop, I don't have to figure out if I got the extra little bits of ingredients. It just comes, it's easy, it's quick. I'll pop the link in if anybody is interested. There's loads of different recipe boxes out there, but think about trying to make your life easier as well, okay? Taking the pressure off is a big thing. So what other kind of nutrition can you start to think about that's going to help you heal, to help you recover, to make you feel good, to boost those energy levels? These are all the kind of things that you need to be starting to think about. And I know it's not the easiest, and I know it's not necessarily the priority, but I get so many people asking me, you know, or coming to me saying, oh, I'm just really not feeling good, I'm not feeling good in my body. That's not how you should be feeling at this stage, okay? You should be feeling amazed with your body. You should be feeling empowered. You should be feeling like, yeah, okay, of course your energy levels naturally are going to be down there as a new mum, but what can you do to help boost them in terms of your nutrition? And you'll have to have a play around, okay, and you'll see what works for you. I'm not saying, you know, oh, you need to go and suddenly start producing these wonderful plates of food that have every colour of the rainbow and turn yourself into some kind of healthy eating guru. Absolutely not. You've got to make it realistic and you've got to make it achievable, okay? So have a think about what is the big thing for you. Is it the caffeine fix? Is that something that you could maybe cut down a little bit? Is it alcohol? Same thing. You know, again, I'm not saying, God, don't have a glass of wine. God knows all mums deserve a glass of wine, regardless of whether you are where you are in your motherhood journey. But again, that's got the sugar content in it, and it's got the peaks and troughs of energy levels in it. Is it the sugar fix? Do you feel that in the middle of the night you're getting up and kind of going, oh God, reaching for the biscuits? I did, okay, I totally did. When I was breastfeeding Milo, I would not even be thinking about it, not even consciously, but I can vividly remember getting up in the middle of the night and just being like, oh my God, I need something, I need that little boost to get me through feeding him. But that's only going to be short term so that I can go back to sleep again. Okay, and it's a difficult one, so you need to start to try and think about what can I have that's handy and that I can grab. I'm just having a read of which foods are collagen rich? Good question. I think I probably answered that one now. Sorry, I've only just seen that question come in. But yeah, collagen rich foods. And I'll pop a little list underneath the video of some of the really good ones. A lot of collagen rich foods are things like your oily fish, your meats, your leafy vegetables, protein, so your dairy. Not great if you're vegan. So there will be vegan alternatives. You can get supplements. I would say you probably only need a supplement if you are, perhaps if you have got a vegan diet or a specific diet where you can't naturally get those sources in. But on the whole, you should be able to get enough of those sources in without needing a supplement. You should be able to get most of those things. There's vitamins as well that will help boost the synthesis excuse me, of collagen. So if you're taking them in combination, so again, your berries are a great fruit that have packed full of antioxidants and packed full of really good vitamins, but don't have necessarily the same sugar level as some of the other fruit, because fruit is amazing, but if you're overly reliant on fruit, it's a natural source of sugar, so you kind of want to get your vegetable and fruit intake on a bit of a balance. But I'll pop a little list, and there's some really good resources, as there always is on the internet, but I will pop a little list underneath the video, so I hope that's answered that one. Good question. Because that's the thing, sometimes it's about, well, I kind of know that I should be eating healthy, I kind of know that I perhaps shouldn't be having 10 coffees a day, but what do I do instead, or what are the switches that I can make, what are the alternatives? So yeah, I'll pop a few little links and resources in the comments for you guys, especially if you've had, as I said, kind of a C-section or an episiotomy. Collagen rich is where it's going to be at for you guys. What else? I think those are kind of the main groups, I guess, that I wanted to cover. It's mainly to get into that mindset, but the big take-home message that I really wanted to put across is please don't go on a diet. Please don't go restricting yourself and thinking about, oh God, okay, if you're breastfeeding again, you might find that you're holding on to a little bit of extra body fat. Then if you're bottle feeding, that's normal. That's what your body has to do, because your body isn't in the mode for, oh gosh, this is what I want you to look like in a pair of skinny jeans. It's in the mode of, this is what I need for you to nourish your baby. Okay, so just try and take the pressure off yourselves. Don't compare. Comparisons are the absolute worst thing you can do at this stage. So be kind to yourself, but think about, just especially if energy levels and that sugar high and low is feeling like it's really affecting you and you're starting to notice it, some of the little swaps and alternatives you can make. So I hope that was useful for you guys. We are going to be back again tomorrow. If you've not watched the videos from Monday and Tuesday, go back and watch them, okay? They're all down on the page. So Monday we talked, God, what did we talk about on Monday? I can't even remember. The days are blurring into one. Yesterday we did diastasis and pelvic floor. Day one we did kind of when it was safe to return to exercise and some of the things you can do in that interim period. Tomorrow, back on again tomorrow. So Thursday we're going to talk posture. So mum posture, this, because we spend so much time scooped over, carrying, lifting, feeding. So posture and C-section scar healing. A couple of thoughts and ideas on that. And then number 5, the talk on Friday, will just be about your postpartum body overall and setting you up for the rest of your journey ahead. So guys, thank you so much for joining. Everybody who's live, thank you for leaving me comments. It's always nice to know that I'm not talking to myself and I've got people on live. Take care. Any other questions in the meantime, whiz them over, either commenting, or if it's more personal, feel free to send me a private message and I promise I'll get back to you. Have a great day. It is a bit rainy and a bit miserable out there, but I hope you can get out for a bit of fresh air and a bit of a walk and a bit of a boost to the energy levels, and I'll see you all again soon. I'm going to go off and set up a class in the virtual studio now. So guys, if you're in the virtual studio, I'm on my way. Get ready. See you soon.